Welcome back to the Salesgravy podcast. I'm Jeb Blount Jr., and this is Wisdom Wednesday, where you drive the agenda. Because on this segment of the Salesgravy podcast, you bring your biggest sales challenges, and Jeb Blount delivers his best answers. And those answers, they come straight from the trenches, because Jeb's not just teaching sales, he's out there prospecting, closing, and leading sales teams every single day. Let's take the next caller.
All right, Tim, who we got on the show next?
Next up, we have Carolyn Cutter from Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. You're from New Hampshire, right?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yankee States, yeah. All right, Caroline. Well, tell me what your question is. What you got going on?
So this kind of stems from the last book that you wrote. I haven't yet read The LinkedIn Edge, but you were talking about how, AI is kind of, obviously it's everywhere you look.
Mhm.
So I guess sales professionals like me, we're using AI all the time, but we want to use it efficiently. We don't want to lose the human touch. So I just wanted to talk with you about that and how you're guiding people
Sure.
to use it more efficiently.
Have you read The AI Edge?
Yeah, I've read it. But again, you're sitting in front of me, so I want to talk to you about it.
Good. When you read The AI Edge, what did you pull from that book in terms of the messaging?
Just giving practical strategies to use AI so that we can spend more time being a human and connecting with prospects and, being more empathetic and having more time for creativity and things like that.
Let's think about AI this way. We're living in a time where there is unlimited intelligence. Forever, if you wanted to tap into someone who was really smart, you had to wait in line because everybody wanted to tap into the person who's really smart. Now, if you're looking for information, you can go get it instantly on AI, and it's all you can eat. Like it's crazy. Like an AI keeps coming back to you and asking, I can do some more for you. I can do more for you. I can do more for you. So I give you an example. Yesterday, we were working on part of our website for fractional sales leadership. So small companies, our founder doesn't have a sales manager, trying to grow a sales team, needs some help temporarily. We provide a sales manager that can go in and help them with that. In the past, I would have either spent a bunch of time writing copy, or I would have sent it to a copywriter, or I would have hired an advertising agency to go through in the copy. But instead of doing that, I went into Claude. I worked through with it what I was looking for. What it did was it speeded me up and it spit out copy. Now, it wasn't the copy that I wanted because I have instinct that tells me that that's not visceral enough to capture people's hearts. So I went back in and rewrote the copy. And the way I work with Claude is I rewrote it and said, here's the editing that I did. Take a look at this. And it would come back and go, okay, that's way different. And I see where you're going with that. You're trying to capture people's hearts. So the intelligence was getting it written in the first place, which, by the way, I would have hired an advertising agency. They would have sent it over and I would have gone, that's not what I want. And then I would have rewritten it anyway. I mean, I would have done that anyway. I just did it way faster. So what I want you to think about is coming from your standpoint, like your wisdom, your experience, your gut instinct, your ability to sort of feel out what's happening there. And you can't always explain it to people, but you just know that this is what I need to do. In a world of unlimited intelligence, wisdom like yours is scarce. And if you start looking around you, there's a lot of people who are counting on AI to do all the work for them, but they don't actually know what that means. So in the AI Edge, for example, I think chapter 18, 19, 20, 21, that whole section's around writing. But I make the point that AI can write faster and probably better than most people can write. But it doesn't do any good if you don't know how to write. If you don't understand grammar or punctuation or how words get put together or how to develop messages for your customer or how to say things, it can give you all that information in the world, but you're still going to end up with something that everybody knows you faked, that you're going to end up with something that doesn't feel good to the buyer. And I run into this every single day because I've got salespeople who are sending me emails that I know they didn't write. And it makes me feel bad because I know that they didn't care enough to invest in it. And I know that they're just sending that blasting out to everybody. And it makes me not want to do business with them because I don't want to do business with people who aren't willing to put the effort in.
Yeah, it's a very lazy process.
Yes.
I agree. It can be.
Yeah.
And the market's flooded with people doing this, like all these marketing emails you get. You can just tell that they're using something.
Exactly.
It's the same with on LinkedIn. When you get messages from recruiters or
Yeah.
I don't know, whoever, you can tell that they used some kind of process, maybe Chat
Yes.
GPT or whatever it is. Yeah. And I'm the same way too. I mean, I look at that and I go, there's not a whole lot of wisdom behind it.
We talk about, TQ, your technical quotient, and we think about AQ. And I always make the point, like there's three types of people, right? There's people who are going to leverage technology to spend more time with people. And we're doing that right now. We're leveraging technology so that you and I can have some time to talk together in a synchronous conversation. We couldn't do this otherwise because it would cost too much money for us to get on an airplane to go meet. We talk about EQ, emotional intelligence. And when we put those two things together, like big things happen. But the thing for salespeople is when you start thinking about AI and technology, it only matters if that AI and technology is giving you more time to leverage your wisdom or leverage your insight or leverage your intuition and to spend more time with people. Because if it doesn't, right, you're going to lose. So the people that are going to be the apex, three types of people, the people who are going to be the apex predators are the people who put those two things together and they do it seamlessly and they don't lose their humanity in the process. Then you're going to have a group of people who they're going to replace human relationships with technology. And we can argue that we've got a generation of people who are technology native. And I read this all the time. They're afraid to go talk to people. They're afraid to have a meeting. Like you call them on the phone and they're like the phone's ringing and they look at it. It scares them to death that they're actually going to have a human conversation. It's pretty sad. Sooner or later, they're going to starve to death. And when you start starving, you'll figure out how to talk to people. But right now, they're not. So you've got that group of people. They're going to live in a mediocre space. And then you've got people who are saying, I'm not going to adopt anything. This isn't going to work for me. Those people are going to get left behind. I'm going to be an apex predator. Like I'm going to understand this technology. I'm going to use it. I'm going to seamlessly work it into my world, but it is not going to replace who I am as a human being.
So like maybe like more of a hybrid is what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
somebody who can take the technology and also who you are with your,
Yeah.
personal skills and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's how I believe that I am as well. But I have tested this and I have sent, an AI, some emails to people. They're not going to respond to that.
Nope.
So I didn't even start out with AI, it's calling and emailing, who I am, my, my personality into the email and what I want to get done. And we're getting a new generation of these people like SDRs and all these people who have no clue because they weren't brought into it, like how to do this as a human. But now they're just
Exactly.
relying fully on this technology. And that's what kind of worries me a little bit
It worries me too. Like I worry about all of that, but everything swings on a pendulum. Okay. So when we came out of the gate 2 years ago with AI in a big way, we were getting blasted by AI generated emails. And companies woke up really quickly and realized that AI had burnt their entire list in 24 hours. And they had been blocked by all of these companies from sending this crap. And they realized that that is not a very good strategy. And so right now, if you start thinking about it, if to stand out, if you look different, which is you look human, you stand out. I had a CEO the other day who I was talking to. He was excited because he got an email from a rep and it had grammatical mistakes and some other stuff in it. And he goes, a real human being wrote it. I was so happy. What I would say is be yourself. Is it less efficient to send one email at a time? Yeah. But if you sent 10,000 emails that were all AI generated and nobody responded and you got blocked, when I say you get blocked, as soon as people know that an AI sent the email, they don't just delete it, right? In the old days, before AI emails, if you got an email from a sales rep and you didn't like it, you deleted it. You didn't block them because you know that they weren't probably going to send you 100 more emails. But today, if you get one email and it's from an AI and you don't block it, you're going to get 10 more emails from that same AI until it finally gives up. You don't just like lose the person on the delete. When they block you, you lose access to them. That's the problem with AI email. If AI starts making phone calls, that channel is going to close up too. And it's doing it to some extent, but mostly just spammers. That's why, by the way, for field sales reps right now, it is a boom time for in-person prospecting. You can walk into a business and they will see you. I mean, they don't even throw you out of the business anymore. They're like happy that a person showed up. It's uncanny. I've never seen anything like it before. You show up and they're like, yeah, come on back. I'll show the boss is back here. Let me introduce you. It's crazy. So where we are right now is we're at a pivotal point, I guess is probably the way to say it, a moment of truth, where you've got a whole lot of tech entrepreneurs who are making a lot of noise about what they do. And then you've got the real world where you have real customers. And I just gave this advice out to another sales rep. And I said, go into your community and go talk with people in the community. Go to events, go to where people are, go get face to face, because the people that you're talking to, you want to talk to, aren't going to respond to your emails. They're just not. They're not those type of people. They're going to respond to having a conversation with you. So for you and for me and for people who get this, I think we're going to be living large for a really long time. I don't think that the technology is going to replace us. I think that there are going to be some things that people will buy based on technology and not buy from us anymore as salespeople. But as long as they're buying something complex that they don't trust themselves to buy without some additional knowledge, and as long as we're consultants and not salespeople, and that's really where we're going to, consultative selling, they're going to buy from us. And what I would say to you is that I'm reading this below the surface. You didn't actually say these words, but there's a lot of fear that AI is going to kill sales, and AI is not going to kill sales. What it's going to do is it's going to punish mediocrity in sales.
It's the automated systems, Jeb, that I feel like is the worst, because you're not controlling it. It's on it's like on a time reel or whatever, it's just going to send out whenever you put the time in to do that. And then you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly. But, and all of that, we're going to win. We're going to stand out because we get it. And we understand that the AI edge in sales is AI gives us more time to spend with people, and it makes the time we spend with people richer. Or in some cases, like today, where AI is helping me is that I'm having lots of conversations with people today. I've got big proposal meeting after we're done here, but because of AI, I'm able to do the prep for that meeting way faster than I used to. So rather than really, having to take a half a day to get prepared for this proposal, I only need an hour or so to get prepared for it because of the work that AI has done to help me get there. So that's the thing that we have to think through, is what it's doing for our lives from an efficiency standpoint to give us more time to spend with people. But if you AI it in, trust me on this, you are going to get punished.
Well, you're using AI responsibly, and that's what this whole message is to use it responsibly. That's it. It won't take our jobs, but it could take your job if you're just sitting behind the screen blasting out AI emails that are obviously, not human.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to add your touch in there for sure.
And am I going to see you at the Outbound conference this year?
I'd love to go. When is it?
It's November 9th through the 13th. That's for the full VIP ticket. So you go to outboundconference.com, outboundconference.com. It's the biggest, baddest conference in sales, period. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people, like hundreds of people just like you, top performers, high achievers, people who are interested in meeting and spending time with other people. We're in Las Vegas at a 5-star resort, awesome place, big old spa there. We had a great speaker lineup, and you'll get to meet people from all over the world who are just like you, are coming in, who just want to make themselves better. All right, Caroline.
Thanks, Jeb. It's so good to see you. So
good
happy.
To see you too. All right. Bye.
If you have a question for the show, go to salesgravy.com/ask. That's salesgravy.com/ask. Remember, you have to use AI to do the first draft, the research, the prep, and some of the administrative work. But you have to bring yourself to everything that touches the buyer. AI does not have your credibility. It doesn't have your read on the room. It doesn't have eyes and ears, or your ability to sense hesitation on calls. But you do. And the reps who win long-term treat AI as a leverage tool and a force multiplier, not a substitute for effort. And when you're ready to go home and you're tired, go ahead, pick up that phone, and make one more call. I'm Jeb Blount Jr., and we'll catch you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Hey, I'm doing a happy dance because you watched this video. Make sure that you click like and subscribe so that you never miss one of our amazing sales training videos.